Tifu by being a bully to my daughter's bully. My daughter has been having a tough time with a bully from school. I, being an empathetic person, told her to ignore the bully and even try talking to her as she acts the part because of issues at home. She complied. Things seemed to be okay for a while until I get a phone call from the school requesting I come in for a meeting. I drink a glass of wine and go to the school. Upon entering the office, the principal leans forward and asks if she could give me a hug. As soon as she does, she tells me, "It's okay, we're here to help." We proceed and sit down. She continues and starts asking how things are going at home. "Fine," I say. She goes on, "This is not easy to say, but we need to make sure each student here has a supporting environment at home. We've been made aware by the counselor that your daughter has not been getting adequate support ever since your wife passed. We are also concerned about your drinking problem. This is all affecting her grades and interaction at school." Confusion sets in. As I am about to explain that my wife is alive and I am not a drunk, a woman knocks on the door and says, "I sent you the wrong parent." Things start making sense and the principal apologizes for the misunderstanding. I leave the office and notice the man and his daughter. Upon leaving, the daughter made an offensive comment about me and the father laughed. To this I accidentally think out loud, "I feel sorry for you. Make fun of me all you want. I know your story and can make your life living fucking hell if you or your poor father fuck with me or my daughter again." I now have a meeting with the principal, counselor and the girl's father. TLR gave my daughter advice to stop a bully harassing her but ended up harassing the bully and her father myself. And what was the offensive comment that the girl made? The only foo here is you aimed the comments at the daughter. Should have aimed the comments at the tosspot of a father encouraging the way his daughter is behaving. That's a lot of words to just accidentally say out loud. I might have said worse, "She engaged offensively with you first." He laughed. Gloves are off at that point. GIF. Giphy, 9 UI 8 Kuruer WB Lilt 9B, downsized. Are any of these stories real in R, Tifu? You had a drink before going to the school? Anyone else find it weird that Op's first reaction upon being called in to help their daughter being bullied is today drink? Today I fucked up by inviting the wrong woman to a Green Day concert and week-long trip to Ireland. So I've been single for a couple years now, out of a 10-year relationship. A complete Tinder noob. That shit wasn't a thing back when I was on the dating circuit. Suffice to say I hate it. Being a guy, it feels like handing out CVs, hundreds of likes versus one match. I had a few dozen matches but was a bit too depressed in the last 2 years to meet anyone. Keep in mind, I live alone in a foreign country and rarely get unsolicited calls or texts. I pull myself out of this 2-year bummer and say to myself, "Jim, it's time to catch yourself on and get over this shit. The world has changed. Tinder is just how dating is now. It's depressing but fucking get on with it, man." I finally reach out to one of my matches from months ago. Let's call her Lisa, and we start talking. Over the course of a couple weeks, I ask if she'd like to meet for drinks, dinner in her city. She obliges and it's happy days. Back in the game, lad. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? We meet and have a great time. No awkward silences, just banter over a few beers and Tinder suddenly feels like a real live conduit. Lisa is really cute, very pleasant and just feels like a really nice girl. So we end the date, she walks me to the train station and we part ways. Lisa, the waitress, left an impression. Fuck, I like her, etc. Now, I'm pushing close to 40 and feel like I've already wasted so much time, but I'm cautious not to seem needy or desperate. I take my train home, stop in at my local pub for a nightcap or two and just check in with her to make sure she made it home okay. All good. Won't text for a couple days. Let things settle. And #X200B. I get a message the next day. Nothing romantic, just a simple greeting and we spark up a convo that lasts the whole length of the day. We talk about life, travel, music, share YouTube songs, etc. I find out she likes Green Day and has always wanted to visit Ireland. Now I already have a ticket to see Green Day in Dublin this June. Keep in mind this a 2 hours flight from where I live. I say to myself, you know what, fuck it, life is short, I have cash, YOLO. So after our lengthy chat the next day, I posit to her. Hey, you like Green Day, you've always wanted to visit Ireland. Well, I'm headed home there for a concert in June. I'll buy you a ticket and I can show you my home country, tour a bit, if you want and can get the time off work. I acknowledge it might sound a bit sudden and crazy but emphasize there's no pressure. I just really enjoyed meeting her and YOLO, etc. I bought the ticket and even sent her a screenshot of the receipt. No pressure. I can sell it easy, but it's there if you like. And #X200B. The next day I get a response. Hey Jim, I check with work and yes I can make the holidays. Regards Renata. And #X200B. Renata? And #X200B. Renata is some random Polish woman I met at my local after the date and barely spoke to for an hour. I was pretty drunk by the time we met and she asked for my number. I completely forgot I even gave her my number, and the nameless text I got the next day, it could only have been Lisa in my mind, was actually Renata. Renata is nice by the way, but fuck my life. I hadn't planned on going to Green Day and touring Ireland with her. This is my life right now and I have no idea how to handle this situation. But I do think it's funny as fuck. And #X200B. And #X200B. Too long did not read. Went on a Tinder date, catfished myself and invited the wrong woman on an expense-free trip to Ireland plus Green Day concert. Get another ticket and invite Lisa too. Like you said, YOLO. If movies have taught me anything, hilarity will ensue and you will end up falling in love with Renata. You are just re-entering the dating pool and barely know either woman. Go to the Green Day concert with Renata and plan on another date with Lisa. Eventually you will get more serious with one, or maybe neither will work out. Enjoy your time. I am trying to picture what's going through Renata's head. This guy the first barely know just bought me a ticket to see Green Day in his home country and spend a few days together. That's totally normal, right? Tears of joy. There's a movie on your life story already. Lisa hasn't reached out to you. Renata did. One is definitely into you, the other is still up in the air. Go with the sure thing. Like everyone said, go for it. Renata sounds like a nice name. Give it a shot, and obviously she likes you and trusts you enough to go to another country with you even though you barely know each other. I really hope for the best and please update us in a few weeks. But hey, you said you had a conversation the entire day with Renata through text and enjoyed it, right? Fuck it. Who knows? Maybe this is the start of a wonderful relationship lol. Today I fucked up by realizing Princess Diana was not the Princess of Wales. The animal. This happened a year ago at a birthday dinner with a friend. There was a group of about 8 of us, my friend and her friend group and husband. We were chowing down on some dinner and discussing the hot topic of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle leaving the royal family. I don't know much on the matter, I just knew that it was happening. I honestly don't know much about the royal family at all. I just know there was hullabaloo about Meghan, that Prince Harry looks like a Weasley and that people really like Kate Middleton's outfits. I listen while I'm taking bites as someone says, I wonder what would happen with Sussex and if someone else will talk their place. Then it hit me. I accidentally let out an audible, oh no, and put down my food. I look down at the table and cover my face. They stop and ask what the matter is. I take a moment and feel the blood rushing to my face. I debated on telling them that I just had an epiphany on how stupid I am, and letting them know exactly how stupid that is. They pried a little more and I caved. I let them know that right up to this point in my life, I thought that Princess Diana was the Princess of Wales the animal and not Wales the country. I was a very young child when she had died and I thought that's why everyone was so sad, because there was no one to protect the whales anymore. Like, when you become a royal, they give you an endangered animal to look over and help with charities or balls and whatnot. I look up to see them just staring at me. They all try to tuck in their smiles as they very politely comfort me. Ooh, oh no, that's okay. We all get some stuff wrong. That's all right. But like, did you not know about Wales the country? I did. I did know about the country, but I just didn't put 2 and 2 together as a little child. At that age my mind was mostly on unicorns and the Lion King. I actually remember asking my family at the dinner table about the whales when we heard about it on the news and no one corrected me. Then I remember all of the times I've ever brought up in my life and no one ever saying anything to me. I'm just over here spewing about whales every time someone brought up Princess Diana. For years, people probably just assumed I had a passion for giant sea mammals. I didn't take the time to research as an adult because it was totally forgotten with time. I called my parents after the dinner to tell them the embarrassing story. They laughed, a little too hard. And now my dad lovingly refers to me as the Princess of Wales when I say something stupid in front of my family. Which, to no one's surprise, is a lot. Too long did not read. I outed myself as a total idiot to my friends by telling them that up to this point in my life I thought that Princess Diana was the Princess of Wales. Yes, the marine mammal. Reminds me of the joke. I was at a bar when I overheard two larger women speaking with an accent. I approached them and said, "That's a lovely accent. Are you two ladies from Ireland?" One of them sneered at me and said, "Wales, you idiot." I replied, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you two whales from Ireland?" Don't worry, I was 35 when I found out narwhals weren't a mythical creature and in fact a thing that exists. Not gonna lie. I love the idea of a royal wedding where the Earl of Krill and the Princess of Wales stare at each other uncomfortably. In the garden, Sir Winston Churchill, 7th Duke of Maribor, who has always been at odds with his title because Maribos are colonial breeders and he resents the idea that people might get the wrong impression about his love life, chats with Lady Naked Mole Rat, who wishes she had his problems. I'm sure she was a fan of Wales though. I thought old movies were in black and white because the world was in black and white back then. That color was some sort of invention or something. Blew my mind for a long time that my dad lived in the black and white times. Think I figured it out in my early teens, but that was a big one to unravel. I mean, do we really know she wasn't Queen of Wales, too? Have we asked any whales about it? Knowledge is power. France is bacon. Ah, this reminds me. When I was very little, I was told you can't have kids until married. I took that as a very literal thing. I was very confused when, as a teenager, people did get married. And they already had kids. It slowly dawned on me. Today I fucked up by telling my bank about a phishing site. So not technically today, but it's today where I know all outcome of it. On the 21.3 I noticed a phishing site for my bank and started to find out who is hosting it. After sending a report to OVH, I thought it might help if the bank also would report said site. So I logged in and shot them an email, stating that I have found that site and reported it to abuse at OVH and they should forward it to their IT department so they can do the same. 2 days later I am locked out of my bank account, because apparently the support that received my mail can't read properly. 3 phone calls later and the issue is solved. For now. Starting on Saturday 9 April early in the morning I get a notification on the phone that my card is now blocked. Kami trying to log in to the bank portal to find out what's going on, only to be greeted by "This account is locked." Apparently the phishing department can't read too and issued a block on my account 3 weeks later for the email on 21.3. After a dozen phone calls later with me getting insulted for getting phished, I now need to wait for the snail mail to provide me with an QR code so I can reset my account and get new cards issued the week after. Totally unnecessary. Too long, did not read. Reported a phishing site to my bank, now getting all cards reissued. If I noticed my bank was that incapable, I'd change banks. There was a mathematician that notified a lotto about a loophole. They said they were not interested. So he won a bunch to prove it, and they still weren't interested because there's so many losing tickets they are still way ahead. Tells you how bad the lotto is to play. Take this as an opportunity to change banks. That'll show you for going out of your way to help people. The word you are looking for is phishing. Looks like it's time for a new bank. Name and shame. Seriously, they insulted you for this? What an unprofessional bank, we should all avoid them. Better this than them saying, "I don't give a fuck about you."